everybody. This is Paul Hitchcock. I'm the founder and president of Giant Jacks Media. We're a firm that helps others to grow and nurture their practices. And this is Giant TV. It's a channel where I have interesting people coming on board, entrepreneurs, owners, doing amazing things. And Michael Beck is certainly one of them. Welcome, Michael.
Thank you, Paul, and happy to be here and looking forward to our chat.
Absolutely, yes. And you're an executive coach and strategist, which really doesn't define exactly what you do. And
Yeah.
so I want to get into this and explain for me in the audience here, what are you focused on? What exactly are you doing?
Well, of course, having been an executive coach for over 20 years and worked with clients around the country and in other countries from all kinds of industries, a pattern emerges after a while. And so I tend to help develop newly promoted leaders
Uh,
because clearly the skill set that got them there is and the skill set that's needed to be successful in the new role are different.
oh, yeah.
And then the other thing is I'm good at helping senior executives enhance their impact within the organization.
Okay, so a couple questions there. First of all, is that any industry, or are you focused on a particular target market?
I mean, it's a good question, but at the end of the day, good leadership is good leadership, right?
Yeah, well
And
said.
so it's sort of industry independent. I've worked with companies, tech, healthcare, defense, manufacturing, professional services. It's really anything.
All over. And so when someone gets in a new position, give me an example, going from what, VP, assistant VP to
Now
VP
let's
or
let's
what?
make it simpler. Let's say they've been the head of a team, and now they're in a senior director role.
Okay.
Okay. What happens is they move. Let me keep it even simpler. In that kind of management role,
Yeah.
they're about overseeing the work, sometimes even pitching in, but making sure the work gets done. When they get promoted, it's not about overseeing the work as much as strategizing, anticipating problems, developing people. So it's very, very different. And I know a lot of my clients have a difficult time kind of letting go of that need to churn out work all the
Uh,
time.
hmm.
And over the years, I've asked this of clients. I've said, so if that manager oversees work and kind of does some of the work, then what then is the job of a leader then?
Yeah.
And many of them can't answer that question, believe it or
Yeah.
not.
Yeah. No, I believe it. Yeah.
And the answer, of course, is like we talked about, coming up with strategy, helping to overcome obstacles, developing people, and that which leads to the next very interesting question. And that is, how much of that occurs at your desk?
As
Right?
opposed to getting out there and being amongst the people.
Or sitting and thinking, wherever it is, coffee shop even,
Oh,
doesn't
yeah.
matter.
Yeah.
And of course, it's self-evident, right? It's almost
Right.
none of it needs to happen at a computer at a desk.
Yeah.
So they have to get over this concept that in order to be productive, you need to be at your desk. That's not true as a leader.
No. No. Yeah. And sometimes probably a lot of times it works against you if that's what you're only doing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because of all the distractions, emails, phone coming in, this and that and the other.
Oh, yeah. So, Michael, when you're going in with someone like that case you gave, and that's very interesting, I mean, why are they coming to you in the first place? Do they know that they have an issue going on they need help with, or are you coming to that resolution with them? You know?
It's a variety. Sometimes they know they have an issue. Sometimes the issue is they're wrestling with what's called imposter syndrome,
Yeah, yeah,
that they're there, but they don't feel like they're really that person.
that's a big one.
And I help them get through that and realize, no, they're smart, they're good, they're effective, and help get them going in the right direction. The other thing, frankly, stems from an observation I've made over the years. which is in all these years, I've never met an executive who thought they were a poor leader. And so often I'm brought in by someone else to help that leader.
Ah,
It's
okay.
not them themselves.
Okay. Okay. I can see that. And when you then start working with someone, do they open up to you? I mean, I imagine I want to just couch this and say that there's got to be some vulnerability there on their part to
100%.
recognize they're weak, right? So how do you handle that?
Well, it's very simple, really. I state and reiterate all of our conversations are confidential.
Ah,
They're
hmm.
completely confidential. If their boss came to me and said, "So what are you guys talking about?" I would tell them to talk to the client, not
Yeah,
me.
yeah, right, right.
And
Yeah,
so because they understand that everything is confidential and that I'm there on their side to help them get better instead of pounding on them, um, they do open up. And I've had
yeah.
many clients say, I've never told anybody this, but they open up and it
Well,
works.
yeah, and that's got to be commentary on you and your personality because if they're opening up, I mean, yeah, you make the environment a place where they feel comfortable doing
That's
that.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is good. So then, um, and I imagine the issues you're covering could be anything, right? People related issues, communication, all that stuff. I mean, am
Sure.
I right?
Interpersonal skills, executive presence, strategic thinking, conflict resolution,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
productivity. I often work with clients on how to be more productive. In fact, I even have a program called Churning Out Without Burning Out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. How long does your engagement last with somebody when you're working with them?
Obviously, it varies and kind of goes from 6 months up to about 4 years or so.
Okay.
And strangely enough, the higher they are in the organization, the longer the engagement tends to be.
Yeah. How is it
They don't
different?
have a sounding board is the problem. And so I have a strange background and they like my perspectives. And so they have somebody confidential to talk to whose thoughts they respect.
Yeah, and I want to get into your background here. That's a good segue because I mean, I had another question about the owner, but before that, what is it with your background that you've done that helps you with what you're doing now? Like, give us a little bit of your history there.
So there are two sides to that question. One is what about my background has given me the insights that
Yeah.
help leaders. The other is what about my background is interesting to clients. And so I've had many different careers, and I'm happy to touch on them all in a moment. But at the end of the day, I got so tired of working for poor leaders that I decided to make a difference. And I got into leadership development and executive coaching and work. My passion is making a difference, helping the leaders who help their people, who help their families, and the whole thing expands and cascades. And so um, my experience with poor leaders helped me appreciate what good leadership is and give me the passion to help others.
Mm, hmm.
Yeah. As far as the strange background,
Yeah, yeah. What's the strange background?
I have a strange background.
I'm dying to hear it.
All right, here it goes. So I have several degrees. I have a master's in structural engineering, an MBA in finance from the Wharton School. Of course, I refer to myself as a recovering analytical now because I used to work with numbers. Now I work with people. Anyway, worked in corporate. I did a little bit of engineering work, then worked in corporate finance, then partnered with a guy in restaurant development.
Oh, wow.
We did restaurant development for about 10 years. We had our own chain of restaurants. We did franchise development for another chain.
What type of restaurants?
These were the franchises were family steakhouses. We did this
Oh,
out in Maryland and Delaware.
uh-huh.
And Our organization, we had about 200 employees, and so
Nice.
did that for about 10 years. And after that partnership ran its course, I ended up with a unique opportunity. And I went overseas to be a business advisor to a member of the royal family in Saudi Arabia.
Really?
I lived in Riyadh for 3 years doing business development.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. Wow. Fascinating.
worked for the king's son-in-law.
Wow.
And then after that, came back to the States. I was VP of finance of a construction firm. Did a short stint as executive director of a large 500 person law firm, and I was COO of a small company. And that's when I like, okay, I've had enough of working for poor leaders. I'm going to make a difference.
Wow, what an
That's
incredible
the journey.
background. Yeah, that's amazing. I could go down a rabbit hole on a lot of those things, but I just got to ask you in Saudi Arabia, this was business development for like one of their funds or something, investments all over the world or
Nope,
no?
nope. All right, so that leads to my claim to fame, my famous story. The prince wanted me to identify opportunities that could be developed in Saudi Arabia. I He kind of favored the food background, and so I would put a big multinational deal together for him, and literally at the signing table, he would change his mind.
Oh my God.
It's like, oh my God. Put a second deal, multinational deal together. All the attorneys agreed. Literally at the signing table, he changed his mind.
Oh, jeez.
And so one day he calls me into his office and says, Michael, I would like to sell this product. And not any brand, I want this particular brand. And 30, 35 years ago, I wasn't familiar with the brand. So he flew me to the States. I checked it out. It was a great quality product, and I agreed to put the deal together. And that became my claim to fame. I opened up the first overseas outlet of the Cheesecake Factory.
Are you kidding me?
Nope.
Oh man, God, that hits home. I got the four kids, and that was a staple location for us for many years.
Exactly. Yeah. In fact, I think it was last year I went to their website and looked at locations, and there are several in Saudi Arabia now.
Oh, that is unbelievable. Yeah, I live in Marin County, just north of San Francisco. There's one
Uh-huh.
here in the mall here. Yeah, it's still going strong. Wow, that's interesting. Is a Cheesecake Factory, that's a franchise, is it not?
Um, no.
All
Back
right.
back then it was private.
Okay.
They were all
Okay.
privately owned, and then between then and now, they became a public company. But I don't believe they're franchises. I think they're all.
Okay, all right. Wow, that is a great story. Well, I mean, now that I know your background, I can see absolutely why people are attracted to you to come in and help them with their roles. Amazing. I mean, you have such a wealth of knowledge to tap into. Really incredible. The question I wanted to ask you is, what is there a difference between, the manager and then you're now working with the owner, the CEO? Probably dumb question. Of course, there's a difference, but what is that difference?
I don't understand your question.
Okay, so well, you're working with middle manager, right? They just got
Yep.
a promotion, so you're working
Right,
with
right.
them on their issues, but
Yes.
then you're now working with the CEO of a company.
Yeah. So they're different.
Different?
Generally, we'll call it the middle upper level clients. A lot of it has to do with competencies, honing their leadership competencies, and we'll do a 360 assessment to get insights and then refine those competencies. But as you climb up higher, it's not so much as competency as they want a sounding board and they want
Mhm.
outside perspective because it's
Mhm.
lonely at the top
Yeah,
and they
yeah,
have no one to talk to. They can't really admit to anybody that they're not sure about something.
yeah.
They Everyone has an agenda or a stake in the game, right? They either
Hmm.
want things to stay the same or they want things to change. And so having somebody like me allows them to get outside unbiased feedback because I don't care either way.
Yeah.
So we have honest and open conversations and they like it. That's why we end up working longer than with a mid-level leader. because the higher they go, the more critical the decisions are, and the more they need outside unbiased thoughts.
Do you have a template that you follow when you're working with somebody, or is it just
No,
tailored for each person?
yeah, it's tailored.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I want to tell people listening to this that Michael's information will be around this interview wherever you're watching it, and we stream it on LinkedIn, YouTube, it goes out on Facebook and others. And Michael, put your contact information around here. I highly encourage you to get connected
Thank
to
you.
him. Yeah, I've seen your content you put out is great. So if somebody wanted to learn more about what you're doing, do you have an exploratory call that you would do with someone?
Absolutely. That's what I usually recommend.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, when I talk with prospective clients, or we'll call them prospects, period,
Yeah.
it, this is not something you sell to somebody. Either they see the benefit in it and they want to do it, or it's not for them. So it's not a hard sell conversation. So it always is an exploratory call. Let's
Yeah.
see if this makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Love it. Well, fascinating. I mean, I could go on forever.
Yeah, and also to your point
Yeah.
earlier, I found over the years you can't do a coaching session and have it be a benefit. This is not a learning experience, it's developmental, which takes time. And so I always I do it in 3-month blocks.
Okay.
So after 3 months, if it's really not what you thought it was going to be, you say you shake hands and we part ways. And so when I talk about somebody staying with me for 4 or 5 years, they're renewing in 3-month blocks.
Okay.
And so they're making that decision every single time that it's worth it.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, no, that's great. Well, fantastic. I appreciate you doing this. I know you and I will keep connected on these things. But thank you for coming on.
Yes, thanks for having me. I enjoyed our conversation. Thank you.
Yeah, okay, we'll talk soon.